Episode 1, K-8 and the Grand Reunion. Rain poured down upon the ruined buildings around me. Vines grew out of the ugly concrete and decaying buildings. Gaudy golden statues that once stood high above everything else now lay on their side, torn down and rotting like a corpse in the streets. I must have been the only person around for miles. People avoided this place, some out of superstition, some out of anger for the past. Some were just ignorant. But for me, this place was home, the closest thing I had to one, at least. That white skyscraper that stands reaching for the clouds, that was where I used to live. A massive sign on the front of the building read, Tengen Labs, creating better soldiers for a better tomorrow. That sure worked out well for them. I walked inside and went right for the bottom laboratory. That was where I'd come from. My cell door was still shut tight, making sure nothing would ever get out. Look how well that worked out for them. Anyone who got the chance to escape this place took it and vowed never to come back. I leapt up and tore down a chest full of my things that was stored above my cell. I brought it and opened it up. On top of everything was a selection of... I have no idea what all this is for. Maybe they're torture devices that the people here forgot about? Whatever, I don't want any of those. Next up were some worn out bed sheets with way more holes than not, and the thinnest pillow you have ever seen. I have a pillow already, and I use a sleeping bag rather than a bed, so... There's a toolkit in here. That's a good find. I can use this to repair my legs if needed. They might be rusted thanks to all the rain. They do feel a little stiff. I'm not sure though. The last thing is an old photograph of me and everyone else I was imprisoned with. I looked at the photo and then at the two bodies nailed to the wall. Eyes hollowed out and completely pale. I miss you guys. I miss you guys so much. I looked back down at the photo at my younger self. God, did I really look like that? My hair only went down to my shoulders. I look so dopey like that. I still had my normal legs. They were cut off later and replaced with robotic ones. That's what I would probably need the toolkit for. I was also wearing that horrible beige jumper with the number printed on. 008. Since I was part of the kill experiments, people started calling me Kate. Get it? Kate? Like K-8? Never mind. I'm not entirely sure why Tengen called them the kill experiments. Despite everything, no one ever died in these experiments. Maybe we're supposed to be an army for them? I didn't think I'd ever see you back here. There was someone behind me. No way. Another one of us. Kill 27, I think? What is he doing here? Maybe he's just collecting his stuff.
I thought you wanted to leave this place. What are you doing back here, you worthless failure?
Asked 27. I slowly backed away. Maybe he won't kill me. Maybe he's not too far gone yet. There was a pretty heavy divide among those Tengen experimented on. Some, like me, wanted to get the hell out and get as far away from them as possible. Others wanted to restore the glory of Tengen. It was to help further their ultimate goal of, I don't know, communism? These people are deranged. The problem comes in with the numbers. They aren't just labels, they are power levels. Higher numbers have stronger abilities than lower ones. My number is 8, and I'm pretty sure this guy's number is 27. Do the math.
Answer me, 8.
He walked towards me, and I could get a full view of him. He was dressed in a suit and red tie with slicked back long hair. Apparently he couldn't find someone to cut his hair either.
I remember what you did to this place. You tore down this utopia, and you led us to this failure of a future.
Yeah, this dude is pretty clearly nuts. I threw the photo into my backpack and ran as fast as I could. I could probably just break down whatever wall I ended up running into.
Kill her.
Oh crap, he had friends. 2 guys, one with a gun and one with a machete. I ran for the opposite wall and did a running kick at it. It didn't even leave a dent in it. I forgot about the reinforced steel walls. I ran up a flight of stairs just as gunfire rang out behind me. I was getting into the parts of the lab I wasn't very familiar with. Basically all of it. I was only ever kept in the bottom areas and the very top floor. Okay, new plan. Get to the top floor and hope to God there's another skyscraper within jumping range. If not, then I can figure something out later. I think there was an elevator somewhere around here. Gah! I've been shot right in the back. I'll deal with that later. No, you know what? No, I'll deal with it now. I turned around and ran back at the goons 27 sent after me. I kicked the head clean off of the man with the gun, and the machete guy swung at me. He nearly hit me, but I got out of the way and put my foot through his chest. I ran for the elevator, praying that it still worked. I got in and hit the button for the top floor. The doors didn't quite shut, but the elevator did rise. 27 got to the base of the elevator just after I began to go up. I heard him curse me, then head for one of the other elevators. I was shot up to the top floor and came out on that floor. The church. A statue of Tengen's founder was placed at the end, holding a massive sword in the air. There was no way out. Just stained glass windows, each of them having at least a crack in them. There were no buildings I could jump to from here.
What the hell gives you the right to stand in the presence of our master? He gave you everything, and you tried to run away. These people gave you everything. In return, you gave them nothing but grief and fear.
I took off my scarf and draped it over one of the many booths. 27 grimaced. I couldn't speak, but my injury did the talking. My mouth was wired shut, never to be opened again. You can thank his master for that. I wasn't going to be able to get out of this, so I may as well do as much damage as I possibly could.
A fitting punishment for someone like you.
He sounded like he was in pain, struggling to sound intimidating. He screamed as his skin tore open. 4 bloody metal arms extended from his back, each one with a knife on the end.
Now you'll die,
he shouted as he ran towards me, metal arms extended. I leapt over him and ran for the elevator. I got to see his back. It was like a piece of paper had been soaked in blood and then torn open. His skin was still hanging off the metal arms, his skeleton and ribcage were showing. His muscles still pulsed, and blood was still flowing despite the gaping hole in his back. 27 turned around and slashed at me with one of his blades. It hit my leg, but it bounced off. The knives had rusted, and my legs were far too durable to be destroyed. Maybe I could still win this. I kicked 27 in the stomach, but he drove one of his knives into my shoulder. I would have screamed, but my mouth was held shut. I tore the knife out of my shoulder and forced it to the ground. I kicked it as hard as I could, tearing it to shreds. I leapt into the air and kicked off the next blade. 2 remained, but 27 gripped my neck as tight as he could. I managed to force him off me, but it wasn't long before a third blade lashed out at my chest. It missed its target, leaving only a cut on the side of my stomach. I felt like I was going to pass out. I should have been dead a while ago, to be honest. Wait. I think I can still win this. I leapt over 27, his blades going for my head. They barely missed, only taking off a chunk of my hair, but I landed right behind him. I kicked 27 as hard as I could into the air. I kicked him hard enough that I fell backwards onto the ground, left to bleed out. I kicked him hard enough that he went flying into the roof. I kicked him hard enough that once he fell back down from the ceiling, he impaled himself on the statue's colossal sword. 27 screamed and swore at me, trying to get off, but after a lot of thrashing and screaming, he went silent and limp. I gripped the side of the booth and pulled myself up and leaned back in the chair. I grabbed a first aid kit out of my backpack and began to bandage myself up. That was nice. That honestly went better than a lot of reunions I've had with the other kills. Thank you to Kip as the voice of K-8. Thank you to Jason and Benedict Pavlovsky for helping soundscape the episode. This was hosted and written by Will Golick, which is me. And yeah, I hope you will enjoy it and stay tuned for more. Have a great day.